Welcome to the Uncle Hack Podcast, where dudes pretty much just talk dude shit.
Welcome back to another Uncle Hack Podcast. Jason Rouse on the last episode, great conversation. I also appeared on his podcast, the Safe Word Podcast. Definitely check that out. Super funny guy, Canadian comic, working down in LA. He made it, boys. He made it out. Congrats to him. But he's been a legend in the game for quite some time. I don't know if any of you remember Much Music back in the day. For the American listeners, that was our MTV up here. Jason used to appear on Video on Trial. He was on a few episodes with Ed the Sock. How about that for a throwback? Eddie the Sock, baby. I also had the opportunity when I was down in Calgary, when I appeared on the Two Mirror Showcase. He was the headliner. Super, super funny guy. And we'll talk about that. Falling off the fucking stage. Oh, not only did that happen, but once I recovered off that, I you know what? I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back. That's what you're hearing right there. A little pat on the back for Uncle Hack. Recovered off that. Seconds later, the mic cord falls out of the mic. I don't have the clip of that quite yet. I'm still waiting on getting the footage. But the mic cord fell out of the fucking mic. And I'm standing up there like a dipshit, but I recovered again. I don't know how bad things could have went with my first showcase ever in a comedy club. First time ever doing comedy in a comedy club. I've been telling you guys, I've been doing open mics around the city. Some of you have caught them, some of you haven't. And yeah, then this disaster happens. But I did rock the house, okay? I rocked the house. They put me up against a 5-year vet, Sam Walker. Guys he toured with Jason Rouse. Deck was stacked against the kid, came out, got a win, and a fucking brown one in the pocket. I'm talking about a little $100 in the wallet, boys. Not a big deal. Came in there, rocked the house, recovered, hit on two ladies in the front row, and it panned out well for your boy. Maybe I might have a story. Maybe I might not by the next weekend. Next solo pod time. As you've probably seen, like, we've been going solo, guest, solo. I've been having, like, it's wicked. Next week, very interesting guest. He's a local Albertan that is producing a TV show called Pipe Nation. He'll be on the show. Raul, he produced it all here in Alberta, used Alberta actors, Alberta companies. It's just Berta, baby, about the oil patch and the problems that exist with a woman in the industry. Super, super cool concept, and it sounds like a fucking hell of a series, so tune in next week for that. But yeah, went down there, made a fool out of myself, got 100 bottles, pretty much 100 bottles. Should have threw 100 bottles at me, get me off that fucking stage, fell off it. And then the mic comes unplugged. Like how? Disaster. Recovered, got the hundo, got some laughs. There's some super funny clips coming your way of everything that happened there. Worked some crowd work. I think I really like that. I like getting in with the people. I'm a people. What can I say? I'm a man of the people. I tell the truth. You come to this podcast because you need a truthful guy telling you how it is. And that's what we do around here. We just shoot you straight. You never come to the Uncle Hack Podcast knowing that your fucking ears are going to be filled with shit. Your eyes are going to turn brown because I'm just, you know what? It's giving you all this nonsense that you don't want to listen to. You know, we're real around here. We don't give a fuck. That's how we roll. So, yeah, it went well in Calgary is what I'm getting at. Oh, yeah, no, now when we're cutting things straight here, let's talk about this. No Nut November. Who the hell came up with this? It drives me nuts every time this year. You know, when I was a young lad, we got behind the whole Movember thing. Haven't dropped it yet. Big fan of it. I'm a huge fan of it. helping the boys out, men's mental health, prostate cancer, making sure the newts are in check. I'm all about that. But then you throw in this shit. No Nut November. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? For some of you now, that's not even a challenge. That's just everyday life. That's how you roll. Like you just, so what? You don't got to jerk off for 30 days? Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. I'm 90% sure your nuts aren't even producing testosterone. You're just sputtering little fucking drops of pre-cum every time that your dick touches that soft part on the boxers. You know what I'm talking about? You ever been walking and you get like that perfect rub and you're like, oh God, I miss her. That's your life if you're participating in No Nut in November, because I feel like you're involuntarily doing it for the 11 months out of the year. So what's one more? What's one more? What a fucking joke. Whoever comes up with this shit needs a kick in the nuts. Unreal. It's disturbing at the end of the day. And you wonder why your old lady cheats on you, These are things that make sense to me. Like why a woman would cheat on you, because you're like, no, man, I'm not going to fuck you. And then she, like, what? Because of some stupid challenge on social media, you're not going to bust a nut for 30 days? Well, that's fucking moronic. Does your brain work? This is why I'm losing trust in a lot of people. Like if you participate in No Nut November because you think it's a thing, you deserve to get cheated on. Quite honestly, she probably did it in September. And then when No Nut November comes rolling around, it finally justified why she is fucking the neighbor. It finally gives her a reason to just be like, you know what? He's a cuck at the end of the day. He's a cuck at the end of the day. That's why I get piped by the electrician comes by. He hasn't fixed a fucking thing in the house. He's been rewiring the basement for 2 months. Rewiring her basement for 2 months. Every goddamn day there's something wrong with the electrical in the house and the electrician's got to pop by. Give that clit a zap. That's about it. What a joke. I feel like I don't know a single one of my friends. Now, I have some friends that probably would involuntarily participate in No Nut November because they're, you know what? They're at the end of the day, they're idiots. I hang around idiots. If this whole show, this whole persona, this whole Danger Cats thing hasn't sold you on the fact that I hang around idiots, then I don't know where do we go with this? Where do we go with this? What else do I need to tell you? I love how people come here and then I say some sarcastic shit like, I think that we need to make the old folks home a COVID hotbed, and you take me serious when I say some shit like that. I think it's hilarious that people take me serious. You speak the truth. Yeah, I say what a lot of people think, but a lot of people are dumb. That's the issue. A lot of people are really stupid. And if I'm saying what you're thinking, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? I'm just a vocal moron at the end of the day. And everybody's buying into my bullshit. Now, maybe it's truthful. Maybe I'm being an honest fella, an honest Abe, if you will. And I just speak what's on my mind that day. Sometimes my mind changes. And to think that, you follow the kid for a reason. You come here for entertainment, and baby, we're here to entertain. And that's why I think that would be entertainment. Let's be honest. And then I love that the people, the funny thing about it too, it's the people that say that shit, they don't give a fuck. You know what? At the end of the day, those people that are like, I can't believe you'd want to make the old folks home a COVID hotbed. Yeah, I want a fucking pension. And let's be real here. Every time there's an old bastard in front of you in the slow lane, or going slow in the fast lane, in case I want to solidify the fact that I'm an idiot, there you have it. Can't even structure my sentences correctly. But what I'm getting at is every time there's an old bastard doing 45 in the fast lane when the speed limit's 80, what are you doing? You're screaming into your windshield like a goddamn psychopath, that you were meant to be. You're doing that. And I'm calling it as it is. You're screaming and you want that old bastard to die. I hope you shrivel up and die. But now all of a sudden that the virus is a little rampant, you don't want it in the old folks' home. You just want them off the roads. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? See, you people. Oh, he said the trigger words. You people. And I'm talking to anybody who listens to this. Listens to this shit. Okay? At the end of the day, don't pretend like you give a fuck. You don't. At the end of the day, you don't. Do I care? Slightly. It depends on the issue. If it affects me if it affects me directly, yes. Yes, I care. But as time dwindled and as time passed with this virus, I think we can collectively all agree nobody gives a shit. Nobody does. Nobody does. And if you're disagreeing with me right now, I want you to just punch yourself in the head because I know you're lying to yourself. You're trying to impress somebody. You know, if the old lady's in the car and you're like, and I'm saying this shit and you look over at her and be like, I'm not. And you'd be a fucking idiot to listen to this shit with the wife in the car. Let's be honest. You're probably listening to this in the work truck just to burn off a day. And you know, you're like, hey, you should listen to this guy. He's a complete jerk off, but he's kind of funny at times. At times. At time. But you know what? If you are listening to this with the wife and you're rolling down the road or wherever you are and you look at her and you go, this is where I don't agree with him. Bullshit. Bullshit. I'm calling you out on it right now. And she's looking at you and going, oh, well, what is it, honey? Are you against him or for him? And she can see the bullshit right through your eyes too. You're just trying to get, you know what? You're trying to pretend. And I get it. Fake it till you make it. If you want to be a nice person, fake that you're nice until you actually become nice. A lot of us like to do that. A lot of us like to pretend we care, like the old people not dying. And then you bring up things like, you know, I want a pension when I'm older. So I'm not saying I'd send a birthday cake that I coughed all over into the home, but I'm saying if somebody did it, I wouldn't be mad. Cracks me up that you care. Yeah, and then Gerald's doing 45 in the 80 zone and you're just screaming into your windshield, wishing death upon this guy. Because he's peeking over the steering wheel like Myrtle the Turtle. And you're losing your brains behind him. Losing your brains. You're 2 inches off his bumper. If that guy brake checks you, he's going to be eating your toes. Up his ass. Because that's how far you're going to be up it. You know what I mean? That's how hard you're going to be hitting him. Fucking psychopaths. Oh. Anyways, yeah, no nut November. That's got to drive you fucking insane. On the best of days, I'm walking around. Now I'm a pervert, okay? I see a fat chick titty jiggle. My brain goes into a place I don't want it to go, but I'm open and honest about it. I'm a pervert. At the end of the day, I'm a pervert. I see the slightest titty jiggle, I'm going bananas. I'm going fucking bananas. It's how I operate. It's how I live. You know what I mean? I can't help myself. I enjoy that girls are twerking on TikTok, not the underage ones. Wink, wink. Doing a scouting report for the new Epstein Island. Don't cancel me. It's only a job. But yeah, everybody gets all upset because some girl's shaking her tits on TikTok. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. They're putting it on display for you. Why not just kick your feet back and watch? I said when this pandemic first started, kick your feet up. Everybody went in panic mode. They're giving you now up here in I don't know what they gave the Americans, and nor do I care, okay? But they were giving Canadians $4,000 a person to just sit at home and pipe the old lady. And what a better time to do so. Hey, just hang out. Go to the weed store, grab a bottle of gin, and you two fuck your brains out. That's all you had to do for a little bit, and you were going to make $4,000 a person. That's $8,000 a couple. You're basically paid amateur porn stars to stay at home, get drunk and high, and fuck one another, and just get along. That's all you had to do. Just get along until it was time to go back to work. Now, those times are getting a little scary right now, and we're running out of money. I get that. I understand, okay? But that's all you had to do. And then this is the fun part where, you and your lady got, oh, Jesus Christ, almost fucking sucked my lungs right up. Oh, time for a little ad. That's right. If you go to dangercatshop.com right now, you can get 15% off your order. New products now available on the site. That's right. We got crew neck sweatshirts on there. And if you use the code HACK15, you'll receive 15% off your order. Also, the Patreon. You want an extra episode of this podcast? Not a problem. Head on over to patreon.com/dangercat69. We're going to release an audio version, exclusive podcast every week when this podcast is released. So you will not only get this episode that you're listening to 48 hours earlier than everybody else, but you get an extra episode when this one drops that you're watching right now or listening to on Patreon. So patreon.com/dangercat69. You can also become a producer of the podcast by subscribing to the Danger Dong tier. I don't know which tier it's labeled, but you can become that. Anyways, back to the podcast. Oh, where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. And that's where you and the old lady just got to kick back. She's just got to, you're a pent up animal. Let the guy watch some titties shake. Let him watch that 40-year-old cougar that wants to twerk. Sure, do I make fun of him on there? Of course I do. It's my job. I got to keep everybody honest. It's my job. At the end of the day, do I like it? No, of course I don't. But somebody's got to fucking do it. Do I view it? Of course, several times. Like I said previously, I'm a pervert. I'm not going to watch some titties jiggle. I'm not going to watch some girls twerk. I'm a man. It's what we do. Christ almighty. That's how my mind operates, okay? We're going to take a deep dive into it. You know what I mean? Like, this is how I view it. If you're sitting there whining, oh, fuck her, she's out there shaking her junk. You know what? Yeah, it sucks. I wish I had a giant cock and I was fucking models like I'm Dan Bilzerian and everybody hated me. But that's not the case. It's not the case. I was born with the mug that I have, okay? I got a little bit of a sense of humor going on, which thankfully has gotten me laid a few times, and somehow stumbled across doing a podcast and doing all this online media or online social media bullshit, and just threw myself out there, landed me a couple scores, and at the end of the day, it's not how the goal was scored. It's if it's on the fucking sheet. You know what I mean? If I'm on the goal sheet or score sheet, I count it. It doesn't matter how the puck went in. Nobody talks about how many goals you got at the end of the year. Okay? Or fucking, I fucked that up. Holy shit. Go home. Go home, you dipshit. Nobody talks about how it went in, just if it's tallied at the end of the year. You know what? Do they sit and go through Conor McGregor's? Holy, this is a horrible episode. Somebody needs to cancel me. Do they talk about Connor McDavid? Just get it out of your mouth. Do they talk about Connor McDavid's goals and how they were scored every single one individually? No, they do not. They look at how many he got at the end of the year. Hell, I'll even take a fucking assist. If I'm out with the boys and I just could take a little pass, throw him on side, give him a one-timer, set him up, and he pipes down, I'm cool with that. I'll take assists all day. Let me get this. There we go. Getting the retainer out. That's gross, ain't it? It's just rubbing on my tongue and it's fucking me up. That's what I'm going to blame this on. This is why I'm losing my fucking marbles over here and I can't speak, okay? But yeah, nobody talks about how the goal went in. That's what I'm getting at here, folks. That's what I'm getting at. Oh, God almighty. No Nut November. I can't believe that's a thing. I can't believe that's a fucking thing. And yeah, and then that's when the ladies find you in your moment of weakness, boys. And so what? Who gives a shit? If they're gonna lean into this, sit back and watch. Kick the feet up. Why are we getting so mad every time a girl wants to go and shake the tatas? Who gives a fuck? We all die in the end. Quite honestly, this is how I look at it. My life is completely insignificant compared to the rest of the people in this world. I am not put on this motherfucker to do any good, okay? I'm sitting here yelling into this microphone like a complete psychopath about things that bother me. I do it on a weekly basis. Every week. You know you're coming here Thursday at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and you got this maniac screaming into this microphone, giving you an hour of entertainment. That's what you know. That's my height. That's my ceiling. That's where I cap out, okay? I understand that. I am no means going to be a political figure, okay? I'm not going to shake the world. I'm not going to put it off its axis. I'm not going to do things that people consider great. I am going to die just like you. So in the midst of all that, all I want to do is fuck a little bit and make some goddamn money and have a good time. Those are the three things I just want to do. You know what? If it comes down to me doing some kind of weird shit, that's okay. I need a story to tell. I need stories to tell. So if you catch me in a sex club in Calgary, just kindly head nod, okay? If you see me getting jerked off roadside outside of Edson, Alberta, just tip your hat and just be thankful for me, okay? Or be proud. Just be proud for me, okay? You know, and if the kid's making a little money, going out and having a good time, that's all I need. I don't need big fancy boats. I don't need a big goddamn house. Just some pussy and money. That's all. Just a regular guy doing regular shit. Well, kind of not really, but at the end of the day, just a regular guy doing a little bit of irregular shit and just looking for a little puss and money. Just like you, just like the listener. So we're not so different at all, actually. We're not different in the end. We just want to see some shit, you know? We want to see some shit, do some cool shit, and, you know, get your balls sucked on at the end of the day. This is the most realist episode. I'm laying it on the line today. I'm laying it on the goddamn line. Christ. But yeah. Fucking, after that little TED talk, I just freeze framed. I was like, okay, I got to collect my thoughts again. And they're like, let's get the wheels back in motion. Let's figure out where we're going with this, brother. But yeah, at the end of the day, if a lady wants to shake her tits, if the old lady wants to shake her tits and throw the cans on OnlyFans, by all means, yeah, take some of the workload off me. Hell yeah. You can't, and I've talked about this numerous times on there. If the old lady wants to dump them out for fucking $29.99 a month and gonna have about 60 OnlyFans, copping some meals, shit, boy, I'm all about that. Christ almighty. Maybe I'm just not an insecure person. I don't care. That shit don't bug me. Hell, I want to do some freak ass shit. You know what I mean? Like, Christ almighty. If I could have 30 women just like reverse bukkake squirting on me, I would gladly do it. I'm a weirdo. Like I said, I'm a pervert. I'll own up to it at least. I'll put it out there. Maybe it'll happen. You know, I'm not saying that'd be the day. I don't even think 30 women listen to this podcast, to be honest. I'm going to go with 30 women don't even listen to this podcast, and the last thing they want to do is fucking, you know, water gun down my mug. Maybe they do. They'd probably piss on me just for a joke at the end of the day. And if so be it. You know, if she drank enough water in the day, and isn't squirting like fucking 60% piss anyways? So at the end of the day, if it was 100% piss, what does it matter? God. We're chewing. Oh, God almighty. This was fucking fabulous. I haven't took the photos yet, but get this. Some gentleman reached out in my DM and he thought, He thinks maybe I have some feet that are worthy of some photos for $40. $40, 10 photos of my feet. He wants them bare. And I said to him, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen the messages back and forth. And I said, that would be treasonous if I sold you foot pics with socks on. You know what I mean? You don't get nudes with a bra on. That's not a nude. That's just a racy photo. And I told him, buckle up, buddy. Buckle up. Once I get these, once I pulled the socks off, you are going to see some fire. And that'll be the best $40 I ever made, next to the $10. What did I make? $20 at comedy. $40 modeling career, $20 comedy career. What don't I do? What don't I do? You sign me up, I'll knock it out of the fucking park. This guy better buckle up, because I'm going to get a little sexy with it. I'm not just going to give him some foot pictures. No, we're going to spice this up. I'm thinking themed. I'm thinking themed. I'm going to give him something that he's not going to forget, because these feet were meant to model. Maybe the face isn't so much, and I recognize that. The voice, not so much a radio voice. I don't see people lining up giving me a Sirius XM deal. I don't see me going down to the local radio station and popping off and making it happen. You know what I mean? But these feet, on the other hand, were meant for photos, monetized photos. And if you want to see the end game of this, by all means, sign up to the Patreon. You also get a extra episode every week of this podcast on there. But yeah, I'm going to post those photos on the Patreon, so you can pay like $4. This guy's paying $40. This guy's paying $40 for the goddamn photos. You can get them for $4. But he better buckle up. I'm coming in with some heat. I'm gonna model these motherfuckers off like you've never seen before. He doesn't even know what's coming. I'm gonna really sexy it up. I have to. This guy's coming at me with dineros. He wants the kid fucking throwing out the toes. Throwing out the toes for some dineros. I'm all for that. At the end of the day, I'm all for that. You best believe I'm coming at you, son. And it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. Oh, yeah. It's fucked up. It'll be fucked up to. It's weird to think about that somebody's into that. I'm not into it. I don't judge anybody, but it's weird to think about at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That this person's probably going to print off my foot pictures and crank one off right onto them. And it satisfies me enough to think that my feet are worthy of that. That my feet are worthy of this fella cranking one out to it. And I appreciate him coming forward and involving me in this little adventure that he's on. And that and you know what? Pumped my tires that day. Not gonna lie, pumped my tires that day. Have you sold foot pictures? No, I highly doubt you have. And you would $40? Shit, boy. That's a tasty little meal right there. That's a couple beers down at the pub. That's how you got to look at this. Sure, is it a little, is it a little weird? Yeah, of course it is. It's meant to be weird. It's meant to be weird. But if you can monetize off it, like I said, get your paper, get your stacks up. I sell fucking 900 foot pictures, buddy. My mortgage is covered. And then only fans? No, boy. Only feet. Come at me on the Patreon. You'll give foot pictures. All you little weirdos out there that like feet, sign me up. I'll shoot you some photos of these suckers. I'll make sure they look extra good. I might even go get a pedicure with that $40 because these suckers worked hard to get them. Okay? And they need to be treated. I don't know what a pedicure goes for, but I imagine that the Asians will fucking barter with me. $40 to get the foot massage. You like a foot massage? Or whatever the fuck they say. No, honey, you want nail done? God. That just blew me away. I felt so good. I was on cloud 9 about that, fellas. I felt really good about that. Really, it pumped me up. I could just feel me walking a little taller. I felt people looking at me and being like, hey, I like the confidence that this guy's exuding into the universe today. And things started coming my way, just like that. Because Daddy's selling some foot pictures. That's what he's doing. He's making it rain over here. I hope he meant American. I should send him $40. I'm going to charge him $40 American. That's what I should do. Starting getting that American dinero, boy. Oh God. Yeah, that was interesting. That was interesting to say the least, and I couldn't be more excited to start my career in modeling. And before you start talking shit about it, before you start talking shit about your boy doing some freaky shit for money, I sense jealousy. You're looking at your buddy in the work truck and you're like, "Whoa, that's pretty gay." No, it's not. No, it's not, because if you could make a career, what would you rather do? Be out in the truck freezing or selling pictures of your feet? Of course you would want to be selling pictures of your feet. It's an honest living and you can do it anywhere. When I'm in Maui with my toes in the sand, selling pictures to all the old weirdos that have stacks of money and they just want some weird shit because they got a kink and a endless bank account that they don't know what to do with, and they're coming to me for foot pictures, and Danger Cats is gone and all I am is a foot model, you're going to think, fuck, he was right. Again, he was right. Every time I listen to this podcast, I get dumber, but he was right. And you'll learn to appreciate the information that I'm giving you when that day happens. It may be 5 years. Hell, it might be 5 minutes. We don't know. This might pop off. Once we release this episode, put it into the universe. Next thing you know, I'm selling foot pictures for fucking $40 a crack, sipping Mai Tais, getting my toes licked by some Hawaiian beach bum that just wants to eat the scraps off my plate because I'm balling. I am rich. You want to come on my boat? Pardon me. Not with those feet, you aren't. Not with those feet. I'll be doing foot collabs with people, other foot models. We all get together and we talk about our experience of modeling. Oh, God, they're going to be flying me all around the world. Louis Vuitton's going to hit me up and be like, "Listen, we got this new sandal. We really just, those feet were meant for the camera. Now let's get them a little tanned. We got a shoot to do in Madrid." And I'll be like, "Oh, Madrid in this time of year? God, what do I look like, a fucking heathen? What's wrong with you? Sending me to Madrid in the off season? No, I need to be with the sexy young locals, showing off my feet, being in the mix. Instead, you send me in the off season like some swine, like some looked over swine. Do you not understand? The foot model guy is in town selling pictures of his little toes to all the old weirdos that want to jerk off when they fax it to their friends. Look at this foot. The fact that faxing is still a thing blows me away, by the way. You know what? I'm a little upset at the fact that some of you didn't believe my story about my grandfather bringing the black hooker to Thanksgiving dinner. True story. 100% true. I will get him either in here or I'm going to rig him up and I'll get him to tell the story. So that way me and him can converse back and forth and relive that moment together. We don't make this shit up. My grandpa's such an OG. This is what he did one time. He was going through, I think it's like, he's been divorced probably like 9 times. 9 times under the belt. 9-time divorce champion. And he does not have a lot of shit. So, well, luckily this one came around and she took his pickup truck. Well, when he went and bought a new pickup truck, he went and got a decal printed on the back and drove around town. Now, this is a small town. Everybody sees this shit, right? Everybody sees this. He had a red truck that she took, and then he went and bought, I think, a gold one. They were both Dodges. A Dodge, I think it was like a Ram 1500. I can't remember what he got, but both the same truck, 2 different colors. The one she took was red. The one he had was gold. And he went and got a gold cutout on the back sticker that said, "My last truck was red, but some gold digger took it." And he drove around with that on the back of his fucking pickup for, oh man, I want to say at least a year. So we can come out and say, a little bitter after the 8th divorce, hey Ted? Hey Grandpa? Wasn't too happy about that. You know, he half to shit 9 times, and then all that was left was a financed pickup that I don't even think, I don't know if he paid for it all or he bought it outright, but she got it. He wasn't happy. And that's what he put on the back. My last truck was red, but some gold digger took it. What a gangster. That guy doesn't give a single fuck about this planet. And it cracks me up. That's the kind of shit he does. That's why I need to get him on the podcast, because he's just an old gangster. He just does shit like that all the time. He's got some of the funniest stories. He now that he's getting old and a little decrepit, and he doesn't care that his story is out there, but he did some funny shit back in the day. Like he's gotten like one of my he tried getting my uncle a hooker one time, and my uncle was like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And he told him, he's like, "No, like what the fuck you mean? This is your birthday present." And he's like, "Well, I'm not doing that." Well, he goes, "Well, for fuck's sakes, I already paid for it." And what did he do? He slammed the door, took her around to the old girl. It was supposed to be a gift for his son. The son didn't want the gift, so Grandpa took the gift. That's the kind of legend that he is. The guy just loves prostitutes. Big fan of it now that I think about it. A lot of his stories really revolved around sex. It's kind of funny. It's kind of awkward to talk about your grandpa about it, but he says it in a funny twist. That's why I need to get him to come on and tell the stories for himself, because they're hilarious. The guy is a fucking funny dude and lived a very interesting life. And now, with that being said, there was just things in my childhood that me and him like, he told me all these stories, right? So I'm just going off memory of what he told me. So it's tough to get all the fine details. But he knew all them, like chicken ranches and shit like that down in the States, because he was a trucker. So he knew where every bordello and brothel was across the United States. Hell, he had his call girls all over the place. He was a certified pimp. He was an OG, man. That's what he did. He just liked to bang hookers and drive a truck. Smoke a little weed from time to time. I remember one time I came over to his house, and he had about 9 coffee grinders, and it didn't dawn on me, because he's a truck driver. He probably like, "Oh fuck, I forgot one." Went and bought a new coffee grinder, and it was before you could get the electric busters at all the smoke shops and stuff. I was a big stoner when I was a kid, right? So we would use coffee grinders to zip our weed up. So you could bust it up just like that. But you had to be careful when you were using a coffee grinder, because you didn't want to turn your shit into dust, right? So I'm at Grandpa's house, and I says to him, I'm like, "Grandpa, why you got about 9 coffee grinders in your house? What's going on here?" And he goes, "What are you talking about? I'm a trucker." I'm like, don't lie to me, okay? At the time, I'm like 17 years old. This is the height of my weed smoking. Real stoner, if you will. Real stoner. And I says to him, I was like, "Don't bullshit me, okay? Don't bullshit me. I know you stick your weed in there, you zip it up, and then you got perfectly busted weed. No stems. You just throw the buds in there. Brum, 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 done. Perfectly busted weed. 3 shakes, you're good. I'm not dumb. I also like to toke on the marijuana, boy. Don't give me that shit. Don't play me like some sucker, Grandpa. Don't play me like that." And he looked at me, he goes, "You can do that?" And I just thought, oh, yes. Good one, Brennan. You just taught your grandpa some more street shit, because he didn't need that. He didn't need it already. But he's such an OG. He's like, I've been using fucking scissors for the past 60 years. Like, well, times are changing, Televisions are colored now, Not everybody listens to AM radio. We don't huddle around the radio, Grandpa, for the nightly program telling stories. Instead, we download podcasts, because it's the fucking future. And then we listen to stories through our cell phones instead of huddling around the radio. Meanwhile, like, 4 guys are in a crew truck right now trying to avoid work and being like, "Hey, boss, listen to this shit. Listen to this fucking guy. Let them entertain us for 45 minutes before we go back out in that slough and do the shit that we don't want to do. You're a foreman. I get it. You got to make sure the job is getting done. But at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? We don't want to be here. We want to be like old Grandpa Ted, balls deep in some prostitutes, snorting. Nah, we won't go there. We won't go there. We won't go there. We want to be balls deep in a prostitute. That's where we want to be. Half skunked off of cheap whiskey, off a house whiskey at some dive bar. And to top the night off, we just want some shitty small town Chinese food. Because every small town has about 9 Chinese food restaurants, 15 pizza joints, and 83 liquor stores. Because that's what we operate on. You ever notice that? Every time I go back to my small town of Tabor, Alberta, I notice that every time I'm driving around, it's like, oh, new fucking pizza joint just popped up. What, there wasn't enough? Wasn't enough variety? You have fucking 15 here. What's going on here? There can't be that much pizza consumed in this goddamn town. There's 7,000 of you and 15 pizza joints. How is that possible? Christ, there's 4 Chinese food restaurants. Who's eating all this? What is there just a bunch of closet fat fucks living in a basement that I don't know about? It makes no sense. Diversify some shit. 15 pizza joints. And now I'm exaggerating. I think there's 6? There's 6 pizza joints in the goddamn place and 4 Chinese food restaurants. And that's just me thinking off the top. That's me thinking off the top. Who's eating this shit all day long? Who is? I need to know. Small towns, that's what they operate off of. Fucking Chinese food restaurants, pizza joints, and then fancy dining, Boston pizza. That's where you go. You go for a fishbowl and some half-price wings on Wednesday for the old lady. Fill her fat fucking yap for a night. So you can watch girls shake their ass on TikTok. At the end of the day, that's how you shut her up. You just put some food in her mouth, and when she hears all them songs that are those like little TikTok songs or whatever ones that the girls are hopping on the trend and shaking their tits to, then she's like, but she can't yell at you because her mouth is filled with half-price wings. God. Which is beautiful. That's a small town relationship. You got 2 kids. I'm losing my mind today. Can't speak. I'm losing my mind. Oh, you got 2 kids. One's from a previous relationship, and she has one from a previous relationship. And then you 2 had one together. That's small town love, baby. Because it's the classic saying. You don't lose your girlfriend. You just lost your turn. You just lost your turn. Somebody else can deal with her problems, and you have to deal with somebody else's, just vice versa. Maybe she wasn't the issue. Maybe you're the psychopath deadbeat that just can't put the bottle down and work at some dead-end job, and you've been saying, I'm going to leave this town one day and make something out of myself, and then 30 years fly by, and you still got the same fucking job. You got the same goddamn seat in the local Boston Pizza, and you get pissed off when an out-of-towner comes in, sits in that fucking spot that you claim is yours right at the bar. Oh, I can't believe somebody didn't block that off for me. Well, you fat fuck. Sometimes the world is a lot bigger than that little goddamn pond. Now, do I love a small town? Hell yeah, but they are great to leave. I'm just saying, boys. I'm just saying, get out there. There's a little bit more than fucking Thai chicken bites and shitty draft beer at a local Boston Pizza. Hell, the same waitress has the same lip ring in from high school, and she's been there for 13 fucking years. Still talk, and it's always, you know what's funny about a Boston Pizza waitress? I'm going to describe this to a T. They're always really loud with every conversation that they have. They got to talk not, they talk to you, but they talk to the room. You know what I mean? And they make these kind of low inside jokes to other, like the bartender, especially in the lounge. The waitress in the lounge is always the funniest because she's loud, obnoxious. You know, this is it. This is the peak. We found it. I'm at the mountaintop. Now she's talking and has inside jokes that she laughs with the bartender behind the bar. And she's really obnoxious. Really obnoxious. Usually has a lip ring, right? Lip ring. Fucking eyeshadow from 2003. It looks like she's going to a My Chemical Romance back when she was 13. It's like, hey, it's 2020. It's time to fucking, I get it. You like your style, but my God, nobody's listened to that shit since 2004. Okay? Nobody's listened to that shit since 2004, and you're still wearing the Osiris oversized shoes. Like, let's get with the times here. Let's get with the times. And usually, like I said, lip ring, overuse on the eyeliner, not the eyeshadow, but the eyeshadow, we all know what color it is. Purple, right? Purple. And then has those black dots for earrings. Talks really loud. Really, really loud. She's not fat, slightly overweight. Not fat, slightly overweight. And the only thing going on for her is a good V-neck because the titties, they're not fake. They're certainly not fake. They're just big. They're just big from the years of just carb intake. You know this, she smells like cigarettes and buffalo chicken wings. Boneless too because she's a heathen. Who the hell would ever eat boneless chicken wings? That's disgusting. Just a grotesque human. Never like a vacation. A vacation is going to whatever major city is in that province or state and having a 2-day getaway with the boyfriend who, let's describe him. Now this is the relationship, but she cheats, because she's, there's not much going on. She cheats, got 3 kids. Every now and then some out-of-towner comes in and he gets a little intoxicated. You can tell like he's got some words, new in town. He's just looking for a piece. She's there and available while she works night shift. The old man works during the day. He's a forklift operator, has a cul-de-sac. He's really goddamn skinny. Really goddamn skinny. And they both argue and fight over who's paying for cigarettes that day. And they split a pack. They split a pack that day. Her tips usually go to, smokes and some sort of cheap wine. And then Wednesday nights. No, not Wednesday because that's wing night. She ain't missing out on that. Usually about a Tuesday night is her day off. And that's when mama likes to kick the feet up with a bubble bath and just dummy a $5 bottle of wine and air her problems out to that man. And he's such a simp that he just takes it. This is it, baby. That's relationship 101 in a small town for a fucking Boston pizza waitress. And tell me I'm wrong. Because you've went to a town and you've witnessed this in your own eyes, and especially you city people, you can go fist yourself. You come down there and talk. See, I grew up in this shit. I can talk about this shit and make fun of it because I lived it. I was a part of it. I'm white trash. I know what the fuck I am. Okay. Now, when the city people come down with their hoity-toity nose in the air, you can go fist yourself because that lady right there, she's supporting 3 kids, and you can't even get the respect out of your youngest. And you have 3 as well. The youngest looks at you like my dad is a pussy, okay? My dad is a pussy. In about 2 years, when I'm 8, I can take him out back and speed bag him because he's such a cuck. I yell at him, and his anxiety goes through the roof because he's never done any discipline. Now I'm talking about the dad that comes in to hit on this girl. He finally, okay, look, we're going down that road. We're riffing, baby. That fucking loser comes in there after a week of abuse from the old lady, and then we got old small town. What should we call her? We'll call her like Becky. Becky's a good small town waitress name. Becky is in there. She's chipper. She's talking. She's giving him the attention. It's like when a dude goes into a strip club and thinks that they're actually interested in him. She's just doing it on a lower level. In a small town Boston Pizza, she's giving him that attention. He feels like there's some self-worth there. And then, you know what? He's tipping. He's getting a little fucking intoxicated. She's off shift at 10 and is like, hey, why don't we go to the other bar in town and grab a drink? And he's thinking in his head, boy, my wife hasn't taken me out for a drink in about 8 years, about when I put that ring on her finger and she lost all respect for me as a man and started screaming at me. And every day I could feel less and less and less. My balls were in her purse the day we got married. Now he's feeling like a man. You know, the kids don't respect him. They just scream at him. He's like, I'll take your iPad away. Go fuck yourself. And he's like, all right. Yeah, fuck. All right. Yeah, you know what? You win. I don't want to deal with this. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to trigger you. Now they head over to that small town bar. I'm talking about a good old fashioned musty hotel bar. You know what I'm talking about. Usually has karaoke going on there. And the only music that gets played is out of a jukebox. And there's 9 locals that sit in a specific spot in a specific area over and over and over again. And you can guarantee at least 4 out of the 10 will be there any given day of the week. And they go over there for a cocktail and some dancing. Now he's feeling loose with it. Husband's at home. Keep in mind, husband's at home. This is a fucking hell of a story. Husband's at home. And now this guy gets to shoot a shot and he finally gets some sniz that's different than that fucking just a cunt of a woman. And that's the beauty of it, folks. That's the beauty of a small town. You come in, you shoot high, but you just end up lower than when you started. Fuck. The other day I did some shit I'm not too overly proud of, but it happened and I'm going to own up to it. And I'm air it out on the podcast, okay? I was eating a banana, all right? I was eating a banana and I got asked a question from another man. And as he was asking that question, I was about to take a bite. I looked him dead in the eyes. Not proud of this. I looked a man dead in the eyes while eating a banana. I am not happy about that. I'm not overly thrilled that happened, but it did. And I'm going to own up to it, okay? I didn't mean to display my deep throat skills like that. That was not my intentions. I even pulled back a little and took a little nibble. And then I learned, like, that is an awkward thing. It's in the 29 years I've been revolving on this fucking planet and daunting my stupid face up from time to time, that it was the first time it ever happened to me. And that will be the last. Because that was awkward. For me, I don't even think it affected him. It didn't even phase him. Okay? And I'm over here like a dipshit thinking, oh God, I showed my hand. Is he going to respect me or like have less respect for me? I showed. That's what I'm capable of. That's all I can fit in me. I'm sorry. I don't know if that turns you on or you look at me less as a man. I don't know what's going on in his head. All I know what's going on inside of mine, and it wasn't good thoughts. Anxiety kind of peaked up a little. I'm thinking, why the fuck would you look at him? You knew you were about to take a bite of a banana, and you had that thing, you know, a respectable length in there. Like something that, you know, you'd look at and be like, you could do better, but you could also do a lot worse. And I don't know if I'm proud of that. I mark my words, it'll never happen again, but I felt like it was necessary to air these thoughts out on this podcast because I want to save other men from making the mistake that I did today. It wasn't today, it was last week. And I wrote it down for something to talk about on this, but I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes I do. That's why I do this podcast. So if you do hear any sort of sudden noise or sudden movement in the corner of your eye, don't look. Take that bite of the banana and then look. Don't go and think in your head that this is a good, wise decision. Keep in mind, think this through. You don't show your cards. If he's looking at you eating the banana, that kind of makes him weird. Now that you looked at him while eating the banana, that makes you the weird one. That's the old Uno reverse right there. And you don't want that kind of shame on your shoulders. I'll tell you what, I felt shameful. I wanted to go home and sit in a cold shower because that's what I deserved. It was disgusting. And if my grandfather ever listens to this, listen, man, I'm sorry. It was an accident. I just heard the question mid-bite as the banana was going in. I looked, okay, to see if the question was addressed towards me. And it just so happened we lock eyes. I felt weird, pulled the banana back a little bit, took a little nibble, and then proceeded to break off pieces and then eat it. So now that unless I'm alone, that's how we eat bananas, okay? We're not going to just shove them in there all willy-nilly, showing my cards. Now, if he's gay and he thought, like, oh, maybe I see a future in us, I probably ruined my shot. Not saying that I am gay, but I'm saying that I probably ruined my shot with him in the future if I decide to play for the other team. And that's the kind of shit I think about. That's the kind of shit that just haunts me in the evening. And I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of, like, and I don't want to go and pull him aside and be like, listen, you know, like, I could probably do more. I could probably get more of that banana in my mouth. It was awkward. I didn't know how you were going to perceive me as a human after witnessing something like that. So I pulled back, and then I realized you're probably like, oh, what a little bitch. That's all he can choke back. And then now I'm thinking like, God, do I show you how much I can? Like, are we cool here? Are we still good? Like, if you decide to turn gay and I decide to turn gay, can this still be a thing? I don't know. I probably ruined it. He's probably thinking that he's probably not thinking about it at all. And I'm over here having a conniption over the goddamn event that happened last week. I'm losing my marbles over it. That ain't right. At the end of the day, that ain't right. Fuck. Well, I just realized that we chewed up a hefty amount of time. That was a great podcast. I felt like I got a lot off my chest. I feel better about the situation, that's for sure. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. And next week, we previous episode, Jason Rouse. So if you haven't checked that one out, definitely go check that episode out. Beautiful man. And next episode, we got the producer of Pipe Nation. It'll be a wicked episode. I'm super, super stoked to have him on the pod and talk about how he was able to get through all the COVID restrictions and get a pilot done to pitch to networks and streaming services to hopefully land us a gig out here in Alberta. It's great. I love seeing Albertans get it, man. I love seeing it. I love seeing young men hustle. I love seeing old men hustle. I love people that just go for it. That's what I like. I love people that just go for it, don't give a fuck about anything else. All they have on their mind and on their plate is what they can eat, and they just want to fill that plate up. I'm all about that. And thank you again for tuning in to the episode. Thank you to all the Danger Dong Patreon subscribers. If you want to be an executive producer on the podcast, definitely check out the Patreon, and you can get an extra episode of the Uncle Hack podcast. I fucked up last week and didn't release it, or I did something wrong with the audio. I accidentally deleted it. So the first episode of the Patreon exclusive portion, we'll get a little more raunchy on there. We'll say some things that, could definitely get me canceled. We'll talk about funny stories and situations that I found myself in on there. And we'll get a little more touchy on that one. We'll touch them hot buttons. You know what I mean? But yeah, I want to thank you to the Danger Dong Patreon subscribers for being executive producers. And we'll see you next week, every Thursday at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I need to go and try and fix this speech impediment that I have. Good night, everybody.